Okay, today is oven cleaning day. So this is what I do to make it as simple as possible. Now we've been doing a lot of cooking for the holidays, and so things are starting to get pretty grimy up in here. So I'm just using just a normal oven cleaner, fume-free, and I'm going to put a nice thick layer. I'm going to start with the bottom, trying to avoid the burners as much as I can, although there's just no way to do that completely. Then what I'm going to do is take my plastic wrap, saran wrap, whatever you call it, and I'm just going to put it over the top, press it down. And so I'm going to do this throughout the whole oven and up the door, and then we're going to just leave it for, honestly, most of the day. So I'm going to let this sit. I put the saran wrap over it because then it stays nice and wet, and you want it to be wet so that it can actually do its job. So I'm going to finish doing that and we will be back for the next steps. Okay, so here's the oven. It is filled with saran wrap. Everything is cooking, if you will. You could use natural cleaners to do this as well. I just have not found one that I like as well as just a standard oven cleaner. And then I put a note over the buttons that would turn the oven on, just in case someone tries to start the oven. So obviously a lot of work to still do on this stove. All right, I have set up my oven racks on big layers of saran wrap. So I'm gonna spray these. You can use this process for grill grates, your oven grates, baking sheet. I mean, you can honestly do this with anything. I learned this technique when my son boiled over something on the stove, and I used this method on top of my stove to get off some of the caked on stuff, because you don't want to scrape the top of your stove. You'll leave marks. So I put extra saran wrap. I want to make sure there's no chance I'm going to overspray onto my granite countertops, because I feel like oven cleaner on granite would be really bad. Then what I'm going to do is go ahead and just put a second layer of saran wrap over the top of this, make sure that everything is really covered well, and then I'm going to turn it upright and put it in my sink in case anything drips out. And then we're going to leave this to cook until I'm done with the oven. Okay, we've got about 5 hours into this soaking process, so I'm going to take this plastic back. I'm going to do a quick scrape. Gunk. Now I've got these Scotch-Brite no scratch pads. They do have the scratchy side, and then they have a normal sponge. I've got a bucket of water right next to me with some hot water. I'm going to do a little scratchy scratch. And it's clean. That's all it took. So once this is all rinsed and dried out, it's so easy when you let that soak with the plastic wrap. Okay, I have scrubbed. It's looking pretty good. So the bottom, I've got a couple spots back there and there that just, you know, the oven cleaner couldn't quite penetrate. So I can do another round of the saran wrap tomorrow, and the rest of that will come off. And then I will probably go ahead and do a round of self-clean just to make sure that any remaining residue is gone. So let's see how these guys turned out. Take my sponge. Yeah, you can see that just comes right off. No effort at all. I'm not even really scratching. So again, a great way to get grill grates clean. If you need to clean your grill and you don't want to put any effort into it, this is the way to do it. Okay, here we go. They finished great. It looks amazing. There's a couple little small spots, just like the oven. If I were a perfectionist, I'd probably spend more time on it, but I'm kind of of the mindset like I'll get it next time. Next time I clean them. One thing I didn't mention is that you should wear gloves whenever you're messing with oven cleaner. I did not do that and my hands burn. So do that next time. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful.